when 9/11 happened, I felt that if I saw remarks about it being Muslims and stuff like that on TV, I was disappointed. It bothered me because when other incidents happened, they didn't include that the person's race or their culture or anything, but or their religion, but when it was a Muslim, because of what happened on 9/11, they would add in that little detail in.
For instance, if any Muslim person does something wrong, they label him by his religion. They go, the Muslim terrorist such and such did something. But when Timothy McVeigh blew up the Oklahoma building, I've never heard any media source referring to him as the Christian Timothy McVeigh. They just say his name.
When somebody in the KKK does something, or when a Catholic does something in Ireland, nobody labels these people with a religious term or title. You know, they see them as individuals doing, you know, a violent act.
Children would feel devastated hearing the terms that are being used in the media. And for example, the Muslim terrorists or Muslim fundamentalists or Muslim extremists, all those have negative connotations, and if anything, those negative names are hurting them as children.
It makes me feel very bad, but nowadays I'm getting used to it, and I'm kind of ignoring it nowadays.
Our coming generation, if they're hearing these words on TV, on the radio, probably they're not going to like this word. They're not going to like each other. They cannot help each other and live. They cannot live in happiness.
It did hurt me for a while, but I've gotten over it now, thank you. But I'm sorry to say that the media just needs to learn the difference.
You know, they take Muslim as the most wicked and unfair people. But no, you know, sometimes I don't even want to look at the news, you know, because it gives me more discouraging things to think about, you know. It makes me push away from who I am.
Disbelief, actually, in what mainstream media are telling them about themselves, because it doesn't ring true for them. And I just find that very intriguing, because they never see themselves reflected the way they feel that they actually are.
See, the media are a populist institution. They deal in cliches and stereotypes because they use cliches and stereotypes as a shorthand to communicate to the public. And far too often it becomes an excuse to deal only in cliches and only in stereotypes and demonize a whole group of people. And in this instance, in September 11, it has been Muslims.
The negative connotations used to describe Muslims, like Muslim extremists or fundamentalists, have increased substantially, you know, in the post 9/11 era, and that's not come as any shock, but I think it's something that the media needs to recognize, that using terms like that repetitively, you know, are very detrimental.
Because if you hear about 10 times a day Muslim terrorism, Muslim terrorists, no matter how educated you are, you're going to end up believing that Muslims are terrorists.
What we create fear between the people. Well, if you fear me, then automatically I will have to fear you. Therefore, what have we done? We have created a problem right here.
So what really happens is, if the media are in fact doing this badly, and they are, and I've said so, there is certain obligation on the part of the consumers of the media, be they watchers of television or readers of newspapers or listeners of radio, to knock on our doors.
To actually write a letter, to actually pick up the phone, to actually send an email, to actually get a group of people together to demand a meeting with an editorial board. But you know, if you don't do that, you forfeit your right to complain, because at the end of the day, you have a responsibility too, to make your feelings known, to be heard.